sit there, and I sit where my national security advisor is sitting, and we'd have a long discussion with the president, and then we go up to the United States Capitol, where the Speaker of the House, starting with Tip O'Neill, would put on an event as well, and then I always snuck over to the Irish Embassy later. I hope we can do that next year. And in the meantime, I want to thank you for the Shamrock Bowl. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's a great tradition, a custom that goes all the way back to Harry Truman, who have a bust of Harry Truman over in that corner. I noticed he didn't move to grab any of the shamrocks. And tonight, Taoiseach, I hope you'll be able to see it at least remotely. We're going to light up the White House in green. To celebrate the deep affection that we Americans have, particularly Irish Americans have, for Ireland and the people of Ireland. And it includes millions of Americans like my great-great-grandfather and my great-grandfather and my grandfather, all of whom were Irish Americans on both sides of the family. My grandfather, Ambrose Finnegan, who was a great football player, American football, and a newspaper man back at the turn of the 20th century, used to always say when he was much older and I'd walk out of his home, he'd say, "Joey, remember, the best drop of blood in you is Irish." I remembered it, I promise you. And because if I didn't, my grandmother, Geraldine Blewett Finnegan, would take me down. And we have a lot of great memories as well in our family, because one of your predecessors I went over. I've been to Ireland many times, but the first time I went to actually go back and look at my roots and meet my family was back when the last year I was Vice President of the United States, and we went both to Mayo, where the Blewitts are from, and Ballina, the city, and we went to County Louth, where the Finnegans are from. And it was a great opportunity for me to show my grandchildren and children and my brother and sister. I joked at the time, but after I left, I wondered why the hell we left in the first place. It's beautiful. And so I think, there's a lot of folks here in Ireland. My friends from Ireland would always say, the American Irish think they're more Irish than the Irish. But the truth of the matter is that we have a great affection for the country and a great affection for the tradition. And we have Ireland and the United States have a robust agenda that we got to deal with on the substantive side of these issues, Taoiseach, and from combating COVID to strengthening global health security to also discussing our economic cooperation and Ireland's leadership now in the UN Security Council, which we're working together. Our UN ambassador is online with us here, and I just welcome the leadership and your partnership. And my view, and the view of my predecessor, of the Obama-Biden administration on the Good Friday agreements. We strongly support them, think it's critically important to be maintained. And the political and economic stability of Northern Ireland is very much in the interest of all our peoples, people-to-people ties. And I think the idea that we talked about renewing our partnership in the All-Ireland Consortium, Cancer Consortium, the U.S., Ireland, and Northern Ireland. It's a partnership that I think we can learn a lot from one another. It's one of the things that, as President Taoiseach, I am going to focus heavily on with our National Institute of Health on dealing with cancer. We've all been victims of it in terms of our families. We all know what it's like, and we're going to make major investments in NIH and cancer research and development, and I'm looking forward to working together. As a matter of fact, my relatives in Mayo just dedicated Larita, one of my cousins, headed up the hospice effort for cancer, not just cancer, but hospice in Ireland. And they just dedicated a new significant facility to my son, Beau Biden, who died of cancer. And so everything between Ireland and the United States runs deep. Taoiseach, our joys, our sorrows, our passion, our drive, and our unrelenting optimism and hope. One of the few quotes that I've been given credit for in my career was, I said, but I mean it, maybe it's just my family, I said, we Irish are the only people who are nostalgic for the future. And I think we are. It's a great opportunity for you and I to get to talk a little bit. So I'm looking forward to our conversation, and I'm looking forward to getting deeper into discussion about some of the things that are of great mutual interest to both of us. But as we used to say in the United States Senator, Taoiseach, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. President. And could I first of all, again on behalf of the Irish people, through you express my condolences to the people of America and indeed the people of Atlanta and the families of those who were killed and injured in the horrible and very shocking shootings yesterday. And our solidarity is with you, particularly with the Asian American community. We stand together against such mindless acts of violence. And I know, Mr. President, St. Patrick's Day is very special to you as a proud son of Ireland. Equally, I have to tell you, the people of Ireland are so proud of your election as President of the United States of America. And I can think of no better day for me to have the great pleasure to extend to you their warmest greetings.
Thank you.
Anachti na féile pádraig Port. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, as you've said, it feels strange to have to celebrate apart. As you know well, Irish people love to come together to celebrate our heritage and culture with song, with dance, with parades, with poetry, and with pride. And this year, because of the pandemic, it just simply isn't possible. And here in Ireland, people are marking the occasion in their homes, but they will be thinking especially of their loved ones around the world and sending them best thoughts and wishes. And they will do so in the hope that next year will be better, as I and you believe it will.
It will.
With each person vaccinated, we move closer to the day when people can meet each other, hug each other, and celebrate again. And I greatly look forward to you being able to visit Ireland, as you have done so many times, and as you've said so memorably before. I also hope it will not be long before I can visit the United States again. For now, the bowl of shamrock in front of you is a symbol of the undying friendship between our two countries, a symbol of the good times we have shared and the challenges we have endured, always at each other's side. The green shoots point to the brighter future that I know lies ahead. And building that better future will of course be part of what we discuss today. The policies of our two governments are very closely aligned on the big challenges the world faces. And I look forward to exploring how we can defeat the COVID-19 virus, working together urgently to increase the supply of vaccine for our own people and for people around the world. We should share notes on our plans for recovery, gaining back the ground lost to the pandemic. Both the United States and Europe have put funds of unprecedented scale in place to support this vital work, to build a sustainable and inclusive future, supporting the digital and green agendas, promoting open and fair rules-based trade, delivering greater equality and opportunity. Mr. President, the world has rightly taken great heart from the steps you have already taken to bring the US back to centre stage on global health, on climate, and on human rights. We want to work with you to promote our shared values and interests in the world, including at the United Nations Security Council, on which we are, as you said, currently serving. We want to work with you on climate action, which becomes ever more urgent as we approach COP26 later this year. Today, I especially want to thank you for your unwavering support for the Good Friday Agreement. It has meant a lot, and it has mattered, including as we negotiated Brexit. With a new trading relationship now in place between the European Union and the United Kingdom, and a protocol that protects peace and avoids a hard border on this island, I want to move forward with a positive relationship with the United Kingdom. That means standing by what has been agreed and working together to make a success of it. And that in turn then can help maintain peace and promote greater reconciliation on our shared island, goals that I know you support. There are so many areas where the Irish and American people are already working together, and we will celebrate some of them here today. Consortium through which our practitioners and researchers will pool their efforts to defeat cancer, that most pernicious disease. And I know it's very close to your heart in terms of dealing with that. A new initiative to share our poetry and bring it to newer and younger audiences that we will announce today. Mr. President, like you, I am fundamentally an optimist. We have all endured the most difficult year, but alongside the suffering and the loss, we have seen immense compassion, care and courage, especially from our health workers, our educators and our volunteers. We have seen the world's best scientists come together to deliver treatments, vaccines and hope at extraordinary pace. And I say let the same spirit of cooperation now speed and guide our recovery in the year ahead. Thank you, Mr. President. I look forward to our discussion.
I look forward to it as well. We're going to let the text walk out.
Mr. President, how concerned are you about the current impasse in Northern Ireland?
Guys, let's go. Thank you. Mr. President, guys, thank you. Let's go. Thank you. Mr. President, thank you.